Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live, and there definitely wasn't going to be a show today until Manchester United gave Arsenal a glimmer of hope. Another lifeline as we reach up and try and grab, gasping for air, and Man United throw out a life jacket. You're like, what? Confused and dazed, but you grab it, it pull you back up. They say, one more chance. One more chance, Arsenal. Do not mess this up, all right? All right, I'm joined by Steve K and Garth Lewis. How's everyone doing on this day? Obviously, Steve, you're all right, but Garth,
you
must be on top of the world, even though we both drew. Yours was a much better draw than ours was.
Rugby, the most excited I've ever been after a draw. I tell you, that was like a win. Like, I don't think I've celebrated. I don't think I celebrated like on the FA Cup final, mate. To be quite honest with you. So, yeah.
I don't think I celebrated for a team outside of Arsenal as much as I did. I'm on the phone to Garth last night, like, yeah.
I tell you though, it wasn't a great draw our game, but it was even worse to draw for Liverpool fans, and I'm just
bad.
lapping that up. You know, seeing the reaction from Liverpool fans after that draw, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Evening, Russ.
How you doing, Russ? They're not happy. They're annoyed. I think one because they would have been able to.
They're annoying, or they're just annoyed.
Well,
I think you got it right the first time.
Both can be true.
This is a neutral show, so unless it's on Tuesday, I will not share how I feel. But on Monday, they're great fans, passionate about their club. No, last night I saw a lot of Liverpool fans very unhappy. Not just about the draw, the fact they dropped points to a Man United team that's not, as they said, it's the worst Man United team that's been to Anfield in years. The fact that they had an opportunity to really put a gap between Arsenal and anyone else in that title race as well, and it would have just sort of been a psychological blow to everyone else below them, and really be a real boost for Liverpool. And yesterday was probably a bit of a wake up call that it's not going to be as easy to finish off this league as early as possible as people may think. Garth, what was it that Man United did yesterday differently to you since Ruben Amorim's been in?
Desire, effort. Straight off the bat, let me just say, Liverpool weren't their best. They missed a couple of big chances as well. It could have been very different after 20 minutes. We could have been 2-0 down, and we may have seen the old Man United rearing its head. But I said to you, didn't I, when we were talking about it, I was joking. Well, I wasn't joking. I was being serious. Like, we're going to lose 5, 6, 7-0. Worst run of form I've seen. We haven't scored at Anfield in five games, blah, blah, blah. But the one thing I can hope for is that they're professional athletes at the end of the day. They've got pride, and it must be hurting right now. Like, their pride must be stinging. The criticism they're receiving, justifiably so. Their performances have been abysmal. The fans are on their backs. What I can hope for is maybe they turn up with a bit more about them against Liverpool, and that's all it was. They turned up with a bit more about them, because this is not the worst. It's not the worst Man United team that's gone to Anfield. It's the worst form worst. But that squad, like Scott said, the squad itself has got one or two players in it that shouldn't be performing as badly as they are. And I think you saw yesterday a captain's performance from Bruno. Barely put a foot wrong all game. Barely he had one rubbish pass, but orchestrating everything. He did really well yesterday. I mean, as me and Steve were saying, either or for man of the match yesterday for me. The formation looks a little bit more solid. We didn't do much different apart from effort. There was, and I don't mean, I haven't got a better word for it. We just seemed more confident. Our passes were crisper. We were just better than we've been. That's what it comes down. And Liverpool weren't great. I do want to say, they didn't look their all firing best. Obviously, Trent had a howler of a game.
We must talk about them.
Yeah, definitely. And the referee was awful. We'll get into that as well. But yeah, they still weren't bad. You know what I mean? Gakpo scored a lovely goal. They still had it about them. You can still see moments of it, but they weren't. I wonder if the Liverpool players come into that game thinking, "Oh, this Man United team's dead. We're going to roll." Like, they've been steamrolling everyone. We're going to steamroll them, and they were just caught off guard in that first 25 minutes where we were quite resolute, even though they had a couple of chances. So, yeah, the effort. Main thing here, honestly, is effort and desire, I think.
Yeah, I second that. I'm not sure if there was players that maybe went into it thinking that Man United were a dead team, but I do think, like we saw it last season, Liverpool 5 points clear and have an opportunity to go 8 at Arsenal. And the narrative around pundits, players, football players, ex-pros alike was that Liverpool were in such good form, they're going to go to the Emirates and smash Arsenal. And it wasn't just beat Arsenal, it was smash. It was 4-1s, 3-1s, 3-0. It was that kind of talk, like it was the Liverpool of 4 years ago when they were just unstoppable going forward. And they didn't really turn up that day. And it was very similar to what happened yesterday. They didn't turn up, and Man United, it looked like they had a wake-up call from that Newcastle game, because there were bad performances along the way with Ruben Amorim, but the Newcastle game was the first time I really saw Man United that it looked like they came into the stadium and just rolled over. And there was nothing. And I was worried at that time. I was like, is this manager going to get the sack before the end of the season? If they carry on playing like that, he won't be here, because it won't matter what his philosophy is. It won't matter what his style of play or his formation is. You ain't going to see it, because they ain't going to let him buy no players. They ain't going to let him do anything if this is the performance they're putting in. And that's the sort of response you want. And let's be honest, Man United could have won that game, and probably should have won that game in the end. Because by the end, Liverpool was trying to sit back and sit in right just at the end, and it was inviting the pressure by Man United, and they were taking that on. Xerxes didn't put in the greatest of balls. Maguire probably should have done better. I know he's a defender, but he is a professional.
Xerxes was offside. Xerxes was definitely offside, by the way, for that.
Oh,
so it wouldn't have counted. Yeah, 100% he was offside, so it wouldn't have counted as a goal, that Maguire thing at the end. What you're saying is still true, because it was a horrible ball from Xerxes. Horrible ball, but it wouldn't have counted. But I agree with you. We were the team in ascendancy at the end, definitely. 100% by the end of it,
Steve, what was your thoughts on the game? What do you think was wrong with Liverpool, first and foremost? At home, a big chance to put a gap between second place, and you've got the crowd on side. And that's one thing Man United did yesterday, is they kept the crowd quiet. There was no reason for Liverpool to get excited, Liverpool fans to get excited, and we know that's what they like. They want to be entertained, and when they do get entertained, that's when they're on it. But if they're not, if the team's under pressure, or the other teams are in the ascendancy, Liverpool fans are pretty quiet until it gets going. What was it that Liverpool didn't do yesterday?
I don't really think it was too much. I mean, Liverpool weren't, what Garth's already said. I mean, they wasn't great, but I think it was more about Manchester United for me. I thought Manchester United were magnificent. I thought they were magnificent from the minute they kicked off. They looked like a total different team, and I just think Liverpool weren't prepared for it. And I called a draw. I honestly thought it would be a draw before the game, because the stick that the team, the club, and everything's been getting over the last weeks, months, whatever you want it, especially let's say over the last few days leading up to the Liverpool game, it's been unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? The articles that are being written and the way they're being put down. I mean, for me, I was thinking that's done Man United's team talk for me. Ruben Amorim didn't have to do nothing for me. All you have to do. Have you seen what's being said about you? Have you seen what they've been thinking of you? Have you seen what the score predictions are? What they're saying? 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Go and show me what you're really made of, because they are. Yesterday showed what Man United could do, and when that squad was lined up, and you looked at it on paper, and once the game started and they started getting into their flow, these players that we've been slagging off for the past God knows how long, you started to see how they can really play. Because like Martinez, I mean, I've had a go at him. I've not rated him as highly as Liverpool. Thought he was absolutely excellent. If he carries on playing like that for the rest of the season, he won't be having no trouble using his place. Maguire, I've always rated. I thought he was unbelievable. I just and I think I don't know that the way they was playing the ball around Liverpool, I thought was fantastic. They was passing the ball through their midfield like it wasn't there at times. It wasn't consistent because he was at Anfield. But sometimes the way that Ugarte was winning the ball, putting it through to Mano, putting it through to Fanders, the bing, bang, boss, the ticker, bang, 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 gone. And Liverpool were going, whoa, what's happening here? You know, Carragher kept going on about McAllister. He's having a good game. It was a good game. I thought, what are you talking about? He's not having a good game. Ugarte's schooling him here. He can't keep up because it was just the 1-2 passes, went out to the wings, and every time they come forward, United looked dangerous. And for me, it was just a matter of time before United scored. I kept putting in the group, United are doing well, they're looking decent, they're on top. And when the goal came, it didn't surprise me. But yeah, look, I mean, I just thought that was excellent. I thought, Garth's already said, I thought Ugarte for me, I thought for me, I gave him man of the match for me because I just thought this was his first, I think it may have been his first game at Anfield. A lot of pressure on him, a big position to play in that, protecting that back line, especially in the formation. He didn't put a foot wrong. He was incredible in that game. But all of them, it was just a fantastic performance for them. And I just thought they were magnificent from. Okay, look, De Ligt had a couple of bad. I think people were being a bit unkind to De Ligt. I think he was just unlucky that their goals came from his little errors, if you like. And I don't think the first one was too much of it. I just think Gakpo done well and sat him down. Sometimes it happens. And look, Højlund maybe we can call out. I don't think Højlund, if I thought was poor again, but everyone else, I mean, absolutely outstanding. I don't think they needed Amorim on the touchline yesterday. I think they just went out there, they listened to him, they listened to all the noise surrounding them, and they went out there. And one thing I just want to say, I thought Slot's analysis of the game in his press conference afterwards, I thought he was totally wrong. I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, I know
what he was on about. I mean, I've praised Slot ever since he came into the club. I like what he says. I like what he's talked. But I've never heard so much bollocks in all my life.
What did you say? I missed that.
He was talking about they should have won. They were a better team. They were by far the better team. And like it was weird. It was more like weird. It was like we was 10 men behind the ball. They come there. It was one of them type of things. It wasn't like they never came to play.
Behind the ball.
What are you talking about, mate? You they've done you out.
Deflection.
Yeah, definite deflection, and I think it is that. Look, he doesn't want to say the wrong thing. He's on his way to winning a Premier League title, and I don't think he wants to say the wrong thing in this running. So I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Slot as well as the players, and when they're looking for the manager to be the calming voice and the voice of reason.
But on Liverpool, just quickly on Liverpool. I mean, Salah. I mean, he got the penalty. Apart from that, Martinez had him in his pocket. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Steve. Early on, Salah put in two lovely balls. One from McAllister where he should have scored.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
And the first one, Salah still had us at bits, mate. I know you're saying he weren't at his best, but he weren't at his best. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and what I mean, I thought I was watching a different player with Dalot for Trent Alexander. I don't know if we've got Trent. The way he was going past Trent Alexander as if he wasn't even there. That was mad to me. That was. I kept having to double take.
That's what Eddie Howe did the week before against Man United with Jacob Murphy. He had Jacob Murphy follow Dalot everywhere to the toilet and back, and to the point where Jacob Murphy wasn't even shooting. He wasn't even attacking. It was purely for Dalot, and he followed him all over the pitch. And Dalot was non-existent in that game. It looks like that no one took any notice of that because there were points where in previous games where Dalot hadn't quite got that overlapping and getting into the right space. Yesterday, you saw it. He's a lot more.
Trent, I don't know what was the matter with Trent yesterday. He was
awful game.
Awful. He was.
Yeah, his head's gone. But before we get on to Liverpool, Garth, Bruno Fernandes, he comes in with a lot of stick. It was a very mature performance yesterday. I thought it wasn't anything spectacular in terms of flicks and tricks, but it was just quality with the passing, movement, always being there, and just a real leader's performance away from home, especially at Anfield.
Yeah, coach. Bruno Fernandes is one of them players. If he ain't playing for your team, you hate him, and I understand it. I really do. He's annoying. He's petulant. You know what I mean? Plus, he scores a lot, so he might score against your team when you've been playing really, when Man United have been playing really badly, and he nicks a goal or this. I get it. We've all got them players, you know what I mean? If they don't play for you, you ain't a fan of them personally.
Yeah.
But for me, his quality is undeniable, and he put it on display yesterday. It's one of the best games I've seen him do in a long
100%.
time. Yeah, and again, as I always say, his stats are undeniable. Like they're undeniable. The only person since he's joined Man United with more goals and assists than him is Salah. That's it.
Do you know what I thought was? Do you know what I thought was important? You know what I noticed personally yesterday about Fernandes? I mean, we all know about the assists, we all know about the goals, but you know, obviously, I'm saying this because of the team I support. The performance that he gave yesterday reminded me of Odegaard at his best.
You've done this already.
And the reason why I say that, it's nothing to do with goals, assists. It was his work rate. He's chasing back. He was everywhere.
This is the bit I don't understand about people who don't rate Bruno. That's every game. His work rate is every game.
But as I say, look, mate, I don't see him every game. So so I can't. You know, people, Man United fans can turn around and say he does that every week. He does that more than I don't know that. I don't watch Bruno fans. I don't analyse him every week. Yesterday, I sat down. It was a big game. I analysed the whole thing. Yes, you probably knew by the amount of times I was commenting in the chat. I analysed it. Right, so I was analysing. I was looking for it, and I was massively impressed because
I was so impressed with his
because I was seeing. I wasn't watching. I didn't care the fact that he didn't score. I didn't care that he didn't give assist. He was a captain and a leader, and that's what you want to see from him. If he can bring that into his game. You say he does it all the time. Okay, if he does that all the time, he does that all the time. Then maybe it's just his petulant bit. But yeah, incredible.
Honestly, it is that. It is. I've said this to you before. I understand his personality does cloud judgments if you're not a Man United fan. And there's been players like that forever in football. You know what I mean? Obviously, I can't think of one off the top of my head now, typically. But every team's got. But honestly, I'm hoping that and I've seen it from you boys today. I'm hoping that people who watched that performance yesterday are like, oh, do you know what? I might have been a touch wrong. I might have been a touch wrong on him. I still don't think he's the greatest leader on the pitch.
No,
but yesterday he did.
Yesterday,
he's growing. He's growing.
And
I think a lot of his petulance and stuff like that. And I know this is poor for a leader. It comes from frustration. Like you're talking, he's looking around. Like, come on, man. And he's the cherry on the top player. But really, now he's having to be the cake, the custard, the cream, and the flour. And it's like, mate, I'm meant to be up here getting a little flick, little turn, little goals, 15, 20 goals, contributions a season. Now I'm back here. I'm over here. And what was that pass? It gets too much.
But that's not his problem. Much. We all know what Bruno does. We all know his goals. We all know his assists. It's just, I think people have questioned if anybody's got like a thing with Bruno, it's been his other parts of his game. There's no doubt about what he does. You know, you can score loads of goals, you can score loads of assists, but if you're not working hard, if you're not running back, if you're not that leader, if you're not this, if you're not that, then all that once at the end of the season, and then you're sitting 9th or 10th in the league, that all in goals and assists are absolutely irrelevant. But I agree with Garth. You know, my eyes did open a little bit wider yesterday because if he can do that for the whole season, do you know what I mean? He's like, well, get him signed up for a new contract.
That was a top end performance from him. You know what I mean?
It was so good,
I'm not going to be expecting that every week. But what I do mean is most weeks he puts in a shift, Bruno Fernandes. That's the one bit of criticism I don't like about Bruno is that people sometimes seem to act like he doesn't work hard on the pitch. But he see
the highlights. They see the bit where it's like that.
And I think you can blame the media. I think you can blame the media
100%.
More than the people who actually are watching him, because people will flag something, and people who are not Man United fans who don't watch it as much as you will look and they think, oh yeah, what? But they've not seen the whole match or whatever. But
to me, sometimes when you're watching the game itself, you might not even see it. That's because it's the what's the word? He does do a lot of the non-glory work as well. He does. But listen. Yesterday was one of the best performances I've seen of him. Yeah. The pass from Martinez, the assist for Martinez, his first goal was. I mean, that's top level. It
And it
is a
wasn't just that, it was
mate.
like there was another one where the ball comes down and he just wraps it on the outside of his boot across, and he's fizzed it low in the art. It's lovely ball across pitch to Dallo, and I was just like, nah, he's on tip-top form.
Do you know what I mean? My thing has risen on Bruno, and I don't want to keep up like the excitement I've got over Fernandes from that performance yesterday. So yeah, look, just go and see that every week. Do you know what I mean? Like if like Man United is all of a sudden third and fourth and challenging Arsenal again, I'm like, different question. But no, I'm just joking there. But like yesterday. That little flick you was just talking about? Who does that all the time?
What, the one where he's from behind like that and he's down the
side? Who does that every week?
Class.
But who does that? Who do you see do that all the time? But it's only. I mean, this is good for me because I'm like seeing things that this is great because but he has let's just see what happens. But He was fantastic.
It was a fabulous performance. Can I just say what you're saying about that pass? Sorry, Steve, the Dallo pass. That's when Man United fans get annoyed with him. And that's when I think you're not realising what he's doing. Because he'll try that a lot, but the wing back won't be there. Yeah. And that's when whose fault is that really? Because that pass is open.
Well, Pep would say it's the wing back's fault.
It's too far ahead of him. It's
the wing back's fault. No, but for me, it's the wing back's fault because you should be in that position, mate. You should be in that position. Bruno does have a lot of wasted passes. Some are outrageous, but a lot of them are. He's expecting a player to be there, and that's when you.
But I'll tell you what, Garth. Another thing, I don't know if you agree. You might not. When you've got a team that maybe are not on form or they're in transition, when you've got a player who's, let's say, extra special, who's a little bit above everyone else, for argument's sake, Bruno, he's going to have more of the ball. He's going to be trying more of the things because all the players are going to be saying, give the ball to Bruno, give the ball to Bruno. So you are going to see more over it passes. You're going to see some good ones. You're going to see some bad ones. So it's expected.
Yeah, look, you want your players to take risks. Like, there's nothing more boring than your team just keeping it simple and not taking risks when they have to. Like, in those games where they've got a low block and they're keeping it tight, that's when you've got to take a risk. If you're just going to try and go through the motions and go through, this is the patterns of play we normally do, you're never going to score a goal because they've worked on that. That's what they've worked on to stay in that low block. That's just where
patterns of play. The patterns of play. That was a good thing you said. Like the patterns of play that you saw yesterday from Manchester United, from playing it out from the back into the midfield, into the forwards.
Yeah.
Was excellent.
Oh, it's not crispy yesterday, Steve. Yeah, 100%. I think they might finally be getting used to that 3-4-3 a little bit more.
They are, but we will get onto that in a bit. Like there's going to have to be some wholesale changes to really get the team that you need.
Hoyland was off it. Hoyland was a little bit off it.
Yeah,
Hoyland needs to be played better. Sorry, before we jump into another thing, can I just say it was Kath Phipps' funeral today, the ex-Manchester United receptionist. She was there from when she started with Sir Matt Busby was working there, and she left last year. She was there for over 50 years. If you're a Man United fan, she's an institution to Man United. You know what I mean? Kath at reception. So rest in peace, Kath. She died in December, but it was her funeral today. So I just forgot about it. I just want to throw that out there. So
well said, mate. Well said. Yeah.
Well said. Just as he was speaking there, I was just in the background. So this. Am I correct?
Yeah, Kath reception. Yeah,
sweating there, making sure I got the right person. So nice one there.
Sweating now. To be quite honest with you, I've seen her a few times. But I don't really reception. You know what I mean? Like, you might have just put the lady there, bro. No, it was.
And just quickly going back to Bruno Fernandes. I mean, when I watch him play for Portugal, he's a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? He seems a lot more sort of mature. When he's playing for Portugal.
Restrained. He is, because he's not Ronaldo. He's got Ronaldo in that team. I think that a lot. He's far more restrained for Portugal.
Maybe that's because of the Portuguese thing. Maybe Amorim, being a new manager, and maybe we'll see more of, of a different side of Bruno.
Maybe. That's a very good point. On to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yesterday, Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't come out shining the glory at all. And there was some snarling looks from his captain, Virgil van Dijk. Just want to quickly play a video. I'll play it after, actually. Actually, I'll play it now. We've already spoken about Liverpool a bit. But this one, we've spoken about this previously, Garth, but this one popped up.
Liverpool going through a situation right now with 3 of their top players and contract situations. You look at Trent's performance today. That's going to be all over the papers about, oh, he wants to go Real Madrid. And that psychological aspect of it can get into the dressing room and that can get into the mentality of players.
If you are Liverpool and you're the higher-ups there, which one of these is the priority?
I would still go with Virgil van Dijk. I think Van Dijk, for me, is the priority.
Over Mo Salah?
I would go with Van Dijk. I think it is easier to get an attacking player in this generation of football.
Someone that's got over 10 goals, 10 assists before Christmas.
You just asked me a question. I just answered it. You didn't like my answer.
No, but I'm just saying the facts is Mo Salah's having the best season of his career.
For me, when you talk about players like Van Dijk, what he brings in football intelligence, defensively, reading danger and seeing danger, that's not something that's easily coached into players. Defenders like Virgil van Dijk do not come around often and easily.
Garth, defenders like Virgil van Dijk do not come around often and easy.
So, I'm sorry about ignorance here. Who is that? Who's chatting there? Is that an ex-pro?
That's Nigel Reo-Cocker, isn't it?
It is Reo-Cocker. Right, I didn't want to make myself look silly, but wow.
Yeah, you probably would have known if he would have been allowed to join Arsenal before moving away to the MLS, but no. He joined West Ham and then he's fouled. His career.
He was all right, to be fair, there wouldn't be a bad shout for a Barclaysman, would it? Reo-Cocker going off.
It is a good shout for a Barclaysman. He's a very good shout for a Barclaysman. He's Wimbledon to West Ham, and then it was potentially going to be Arsenal. A couple
of years at West Ham, he was looking all right. You know, I mean, did he get England caps in the end? He must have done, mustn't he?
I think
Let's have a quick look.
I think he did.
Maybe not. We had great players that era, didn't we? So.
Yeah. It'd make a good shelf filler, not a co-commentator after listening to those comments.
It's crazy comments. Yeah, he got 20. Oh no, sorry. I was going to say under 21.
He was the under 21's England captain. Yeah,
but he's chatting nonsense there. I'm sorry. The priority.
Yeah, so he says you sign Virgil van Dijk up, that needs to take priority, and then it will be Mo Salah because you can get a striker, you can get a forward in this day and age. Garth, can you really find a forward in this day and age and a right winger in this day and age that is
that's the big question, isn't it?
40 plus goal contributions a season?
Well, I mean, if someone can, they need to give like Arteta a ring. They need to give Amorim a ring. They need to give Liverpool a ring. They need to give Slot a ring because all three of us are looking for a 40 goal contributions a season forward. Like this is that old. Oh, yeah, I'd score 5 goals for Man City, 15 goals for Man City. Well, you better give Pep a ring then because he could do the 15 goal a season striker, mate. Like, listen. It gets difficult when you're criticising ex-pros' opinions because he's lived the game, you know what I mean? But for me, it couldn't be further from the truth. I think it's far easier to find a solid defender in today's age than it is to find an all-conquering striker like Mo Salah. Listen, Mo Salah, there is no replacement. He's one of one. You've got to get that. And his performances this season are just incredible again. There's no reason. I know, Steve, that obviously the financial aspects of it, but for me, he's a special one. He's different. He doesn't exist inside your wage bracket. Your
18 goals, 13 assists in the Premier League.
This season already. Oh, mate, come on. I mean, you got to break the bank for him. You've got to break the bank for Mo Salah. There's no one else out there. I mean, we were talking about Isaac, weren't we, Keir? You know what I mean? Like, but as we were saying, he made it to
two. I'm always saying it would have to be two. You're replacing Salah. You've got to buy 2 players.
And I think Gary Neville said it on Sky Sports, is that you've got to actually, they're talking about the financials, you've got to look at the financials. You lose Mo Salah on a free, all right? You've got to spend at least 100 mil to replace him. At least 100 mil to replace him in today's market. Plus his wages, 20, 30 mil for the player that's coming in. So you're on 130 mil already, and that's not guaranteeing that this geezer's going to get you them goals. So, for me, it's crazy for me. I think Salah is the ultimate priority. And I think Salah wants to stay. He keeps making the statements like, there's no movement. No one's talking to me. Like, so, for me,
they are. He's coming out. They've all been offered contracts, every one of them.
Yeah, but there's no movement on that contract because he's rejected that contract, hasn't he? Yeah, he said no to that contract. So there's no movement now.
Van Dijk saying that he hasn't been offered. He has. You know, they all have. You don't get to this stage of negotiations, and they haven't. That's all rubbish.
But how much on top of what they're getting is it roughly? If you know, Steve. Like,
no, I don't.
Substantial increase. Is it that they're that say Van Dijk's on 250 grand a week, they're offering 275 and a 2-year deal. What is it that he wants, and what is it roughly they're offering? Do you know?
I think each one of them's got a different situation, mate. I don't think every one of them's the same as. I don't think the money's like a thing to as much as Van Dijk.
Yeah, well, Liverpool fans will try and tell you that Trent is asking for the same amount of money as Salah. That's the narrative that Liverpool fans.
No, Trent just wants to go. Forget the money.
Yeah.
There's no money or no contracts or there's no that. He's just, shall I go or not?
Yeah.
You know, there's no contract that's going to keep him there. He's 26. I think he's 26.
Contract, and he's got an opportunity to move to Real Madrid. I'm gone.
But is it? But it ain't even his final contract. So he's going to get a 5-year one, and he could still go somewhere else after that.
A big one, though, isn't it? It's the term, innit? It's your last big one.
Yeah. It's your last now. If he signs a 4-year contract, that takes him up to what, 31. He's not going to get a bigger contract than that. So this is his last.
But they're all different. The Trent one is like we've just said. That's just a matter of he's moulding over. Whether he leaves or what he wants. He wants Real Madrid.
And it's whether it's Liverpool can sort out saying now or at the end of the season is what he's thinking about.
Van Dijk, I don't think there isn't a problem as much as what I'm hearing anyway, as much as what people are saying.
Is there any truth in the room? Have you heard anything in the rumours that Van Dijk's agent was speaking to a couple of clubs sniffing around for a deal?
No, from the people that I've been talking to, it's like Van Dijk, it ain't a problem. He's Liverpool's captain. Do you know what I mean? He's still, 31, 32? Do you know what I mean?
No, he's 33, isn't he, Van Dijk?
Is he? I don't know, mate.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think that's why they're a little bit dubious, because I think it's one of them ones, isn't it?
But him personally, we're talking about like him personally.
And he'll be 34 next season.
By the start of the season. That's what I thought, 34 by the start of the season, which is like for a centre back. I'm sorry, like that's like you do need to start thinking about a 2-year deal or this or that. You know,
I don't think
a 1-year rolling, mate.
I don't think there's a problem.
34.
No, previously, from everything I've read, far more than me, but everything I've read, it does feel like Van Dijk's the lowest priority, as in we're going to get that one done. Trent,
because I think he's going to say Trent's obviously a problem. They want him to stay, but Trent's like messing him about, and I think that's showing on the pitch. I think that's showing with his teammates because of the little ruckuses you're hearing about dressing room sort of like mellies going on. But Mo Salah is the one who's just saying, you're not offering me enough money, you're not offering me a bigger contract, and he's coming out and he's talking about it to, everyone and his mother, isn't he? So,
and I think he's meant to do so, Steve. I think it's fair. He's literally the best player in the league. He's one of the top 5 players in the world.
Yeah,
like I think it's fair. I think he is in he's in the buyer's position. He's in the strongest position. Like you can't replace me. I want this. I want a 3-year deal. I want that deal. I want this amount of money. That's what I'm taking. Take it or leave it. I'll go Saudi, mate. You know what I mean?
At this stage, he needs security. He needs security. One injury, one knee, and he's been very good with injuries. One bad injury, and you're out for the season. You ain't going to get another deal. You ain't going to get that. A lot of this. From what I've been told, anyway, a lot of this contract and money regarding Salah is to do with Trent. It's understandable Liverpool want him to stay. Yeah.
They do want him to stay. But as long as Trent keeps humming and ahhing on whether I'm going to stay or whether I'm going to go, if he's going to go and he decides to go and that's all sorted, then from what I'm told, then they can sit down with Salah again, renegotiate what he wants and give him the money that he wants because Trent will now be out of the club. But Trent's got him in limbo at the moment, and there seems to be this sort of like thing going in the club where when you've got when you've got to extend 3 people's transfers, giving 3 people's lot of money, it's not. And they're at 2 of them are of an age. It is. Look, there's football logic and there's business logic.
Yeah, right? There's no business logic, but that's not good for. Like Salah must be thinking, "What do you mean? I've got to wait for Trent? I am your best player, and I have been your best player for 6 years."
But they know that.
Rich club, Steve. Liverpool, a rich club, they can afford to do it.
No, they haven't. But they haven't. Nobody. No, I'm speaking to people, and they have not. They can't. People just can't give people massive contracts, and because what people don't understand as well, there's rules. But there's also rules where the Premier League keep an eye on clubs and when they do things and they give people money and they look at it and think, well, no, we don't agree with that. It doesn't have to be a rule. You know, they can put sanctions against clubs. So, for instance, if they felt that they've like too much money, they've given them a too big a contract. If that's not weighing up with what their PSR is and what they're supposed to be, they'll get things for it. Otherwise, this would all be done.
Well, what about with Trent? Yeah, look, I understand his position. He's trying to negotiate a contract with Real Madrid, and potentially as a backup plan, he could be negotiating a contract with Liverpool. It doesn't make sense for him to turn around and say, I'm off, because Real Madrid are going to be listening. He'd get less money, and his agent will be like, shut up, don't say a thing. Like, how often do you get players that come out and say anything? We had Bukayo Saka trying to sign him down to a contract for like however long, and then you got fans every single post asking him if he could sign it. He did not say a word. He didn't say a word, and Man City was sniffing around at that time. It's the agent's job to get the most amount of money, and part of that is the client keeping stum. So I get why Trent Alexander-Arnold is doing it, but Liverpool, they need to. If I'm sorry, they have to get this Salah deal done.
Because that's what you're saying about Trent there as well. I've seen a lot of people talking about where's the loyalty. I hate that when it comes to football, because football clubs have got no loyalty to their players. Yeah. You are literally assets to them, to be moved around at their whim. So why Trent should have loyalty to Liverpool just because he was brought up through that club? I get what football is emotional. That's an emotional statement from football fans. Football clubs have zero loyalty to players. Zero.
He's showing that. He's showing zero loyalty. And you're absolutely right, Garth. Why should he? And that's why he's like 50% of Liverpool fans are turning on him. Because
that's poor as well.
And that, it is. It's 100% poor. You even get I heard something from again. You might think differently. But I'm hearing Carragher, going on one of these
Carragher is nonsense.
One of it. He talks the bigger. Do you know what you was talking about Rio Coco, and you think he's played the game. Yeah, he should know. Fucking that bullshit. These people that have played the game. I've never heard so much shit. Don't people looking. Don't ever think that these people know more about football than you. Right? If you studied the game since you was a kid and you've been brought up with a game and you follow the game, right? You've just got as much knowledge as what they have, not just because they've kicked a football, believe me. Right?
It's more the background workings of how things go down in contracts and stuff, though, Steve. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah. I know what you mean. You're right. I shouldn't put as much stock in it because I've been talking about how much rubbish he's been speaking recently.
The one with Jamie Redknapp and Jamie Carragher, where Jamie Redknapp saying about he's a local lad and this is kind of a little bit disrespectful and
this is what I was going to say. If
he wants to have a legacy, you look at players like Steve McManaman. Steve McManaman won a Champions League, went to Real Madrid, was successful at Real Madrid, won 6 trophies in his time, in his 3 years there. What are you talking about?
What annoyed me? What annoyed me?
Legacy at Liverpool when you get to play for Real Madrid in a different country and play and win Champions League medals and play with some of the greatest players of all time.
Trent's already got a legacy. Trent's already got a legacy at Liverpool. Won everything you can win. Won everything you can win.
He just wants to go
Premier League, Super Cup, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and in that Champions League, Liverpool fans will not forget that he was played a massive part in that winning goal that won you in that final. The winning goal. That quick, smart thinking from Trent Alexander-Arnold, the Trent that you keep trying to say is going to ruin his legacy, the Trent who is dead to you once he's gone to Real Madrid because all he wants to do it for is the money. What a load of nonsense. Real Madrid don't even pay the most money. They don't. They don't. You go there. It's an honour to play for their team, and that's a part of it. Oh, you're going to take less money there because it's an honour to wear that shirt. Yeah, I will, because I want to be remembered in history as a player.
He's played over 300 games for Liverpool. Club. I mean, what more do you want? You know, he's played over 300. And look, just before what I wanted to go on to say, just continuing with the Carragher thing. He was going on about how, similar to what you were saying, Kears, he was going on about, this is terrible. Why is he doing it now? And Liverpool on a title race, and I think Real Madrid are a disgrace, absolute disgrace. The way they're putting a bid in for him, trying to disrupt it and all that. There's 6 months left on his contract, for God's sake. He's got every right. Real Madrid have got every right. It happens.
Yeah.
I get wind up because it's my job and it's my business, and I know there's 6 months left. You
Should be
pillock.
talking to him. No, he
They've
can.
got every right to go and talk to Liverpool.
Do you know the fee, Steve? Do you know the fee? Because I was hearing rumours of about 20 mil that Real Madrid offered for him.
Yeah, something like that.
Arms off. I've written arms off because you know he's going. You know he's going. You've got Conor Bradley there. You can now get 20 mil on top of that as well. Unless he said, no, I'm gonna stay. You know what I mean? Fair enough. But yeah, as Ross is saying here, when it comes to Real Madrid, it's a prestige thing. It's the biggest club in the world, and by a long way as well.
Yeah.
They are the most prestigious.
It don't matter where you
football.
are.
Yeah, you see people in America walking around Real Madrid. You know what I mean? They've got their, and it's not just the football club. They've got their basketball teams. They've got their netball teams that are all massive in their individual rights as well. They are the biggest institution in football. They are the most. I'm sure there's, you know, when people talk about Rangers and Celtic, but I'm talking big leagues. The one of the most highest achievements. I had this before, so I was like, wow, Rangers have won 67 trophies. I'm like,
Always that smart ass.
I probably think Liverpool are probably trying to get him to sign a contract now, and for him to still lead in the summer. So Real Madrid are going to have to pay a bigger fee. It's not. If you're Liverpool, if you're Liverpool, I can understand you trying to do that. I'd try and do that. I think, well, Trent, do me a favour. Can you just sign another a year?
But it don't go that way, Steve.
But it don't go. No, it doesn't go that. It doesn't. But I think
as soon as he signs, they will go, you're our player now. You should sign a 4-year contract. You're going to get a replacement for you, so you're going to stay. And then you've got
what will Real Madrid do then? And what Real Madrid do then?
You get asked you to put in a transfer request.
Real Madrid go,
they move on.
They move on, mate.
They move on. You get once in a life opportunity. If you're lucky, you get twice, yeah? And
that's why he's not signing.
Twice if you're someone like an Mbappe, you're someone like an Henry, a Rooney, a Ronaldo. Like, you don't get another chance if you Trent Alexander-Arnold. Sorry, you don't. Yeah. He's good.
Someone said to me today, and they made a good point. They said, look, he may go to Real Madrid, Trent, and end up sitting on the bench, because who's to say Danny Carvajal don't come back and carry on from what he was doing before his injury?
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know what I mean? He ain't going to let it go, is he?
No.
Right, I don't listen. Anyone who doesn't think I think you were saying something here about someone who was like, "Oh, you're going to go for the shirt." You're like, "Yeah, you literally are."
Yeah,
that's literally, you literally are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's Real Madrid, mate. Yeah. It's not about the money's lovely as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm a professional footballer. I get paid a lot of money, but we're talking about Real Madrid.
My name on it.
Yeah.
One quote.
Sorry, I said to you, like I said yesterday, as a Man United fan, when Ronaldo left, we were upset that he was going. We weren't upset with him. We understood. Yeah. And let's go from like I said to you, we had just won the League and Champions League the year before. He'd won the Ballon d'Or with Man United the year before, and Fergie begged him to stay for another year. We got another year out of him, got to the Champions League final again, and he still went, "Nah, lads, I'm going around Madrid."
yeah, because it's not about that. It's not about winning Premier Leagues. It's about where you're doing it and who you're doing it with and what you're going to be remembered for.
You've got to show a bit of class. Your fans have got to show a bit of class. Your club's got to show a bit. Look, when we went Barcelona, I didn't go out for a month. I thought fucking that. I was like, people going, yeah, but this player, we lost this player. I'm going, are you kidding me here? I've just lost the greatest player ever to play in the Premier League to Barcelona, and he's still in his prime. And like, I'm hearing people moan about fucking Harry Kane and saying, "Oh, he's got to buy it." Fuck off.
Eating, all right? Have you ever got to that stage? Refusing to eat, all right? I don't know when so when asked to eat, all right?
Get phone calls from Steve's missus. Like, I'm really worried. He ain't showered in 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. He's in the same clothes. The beard is down to his belly button. Like, I need someone to come and shave him, basically.
Yeah, he's thinking about a beard to hair comb over. He doesn't care about life anymore. Yeah, these things hit you hard.
Can I ask you, did you understand it? Did you understand?
That's the point. That's my whole point. Yeah. You know, as soon as you said Ronaldo, Real, first thing that came into my head was when Henry and Barcelona. It's the same thing. Like Barcelona ain't what they are now because they're in awful state regarding these things. But similar thing, you just got to go over it.
When did you go Barca? When did he go Barca? When did he go Barca? 2000.
You're bringing back these bad memories, Garth. You have to
Sorry,
make me
Steve.
think that.
How long after the Champions League final was it? That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much.
2000.
2000. Yeah, it was pretty much, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Again, he
pretty
made
much.
the Champions League final that year, but Barcelona come knocking. These two clubs, they've got that power. They've
Yeah,
got
And he
no,
won
that
it.
power.
And he won it. And he won it he won it with them as well.
Yeah, wasn't it Champions League? Was like Invincibles, then it was Champions League final because Invincibles then
2006,
Vieira
wasn't
left,
it?
and it was Champions
Yeah.
League final, and then did Henry left
Yeah.
after that, or was it following
Yeah, I think it
season?
was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What made me laugh is that, I think Trent come out of it, like, I don't know if he was having a joke or what, but he come out, I want to play for Real, I want to go out in Spain and try things new. I'd like to try and win the Ballon d'Or, mate. You got no chance.
Yeah, forget Ballon d'Or, mate.
Just get that one
Just
straight out of your head, Trent.
Picture.
Just
Go
like,
and get your
take
shirt.
In fairness, that was a weird statement he made. What he said was he would rather win the Ballon d'Or as a defender than win another Champions League with Liverpool. And that is
you're not doing that.
you're doing yourself no favours saying that, bruv. Like, reel that one in,
Yeah, you're trying to make it easier for them by hating you. You're doing a good job of it. On to Arsenal. A tricky test away from home against Brighton on the weekend, and it didn't end as Arsenal fans would have hoped in a 1-1 draw. More controversy for Arsenal fans after a penalty was awarded for a header to head-to-head collision. Head-to-head collision. I can't even speak.
He's been struggling. He's been struggling with this for the last 2 days. Yeah.
Honestly, when this happened, I don't know what happened for the next 20 minutes in that game because it was a blur. Mate, I was hearing things in sort of an echoey fashion, like everything was moving in slow motion. I couldn't. I was sending messages to people, and I don't know if they responded, but. I think all I can remember sending to multiple people was head gone.
That's what I was going to say.
I said to Steve,
head's gone. Head's gone. It's gone. Head's gone.
For about 45 seconds. Head gone. Head gone. Head gone.
I knew it was there because I left it 24 hours, didn't I? I was like, it's been 24 hours now. Can we talk about the penalty? Like,
I'm seeing like it was like a minute message, and I'm like, it's just gone. I just don't know what. I can't talk. I've got. And I'm like, there ain't going to be much more to this message because I could just see the seconds ticking down to the minute mark. And it was like, yeah, it's just gone. And turned around, and the message went, Kieran's head's gone on that one.
Look, Arsenal didn't play well at all. It's the first half wasn't too bad, and I think people are dismissing the first half, which we weren't that bad. And I think we had the taking of Brighton in that first half. It was the second half which was poor. And I don't understand what had happened in that second half. I know Ethan Nwaneri had to come off with an injury. Many thought, including myself, it was because of the yellow card. But apparently it was because he was injured, which is a shame. It seems like it's a lot worse to be first fault. I'm sure Steve will give us an update on that. But yeah, it was for me, it's a controversial penalty. Some will say it was soft. Some say it's a blatant penalty. Some say it's a headbutt. I can't have a conversation with someone that's trying to say it's a headbutt. It's a collision.
He's gone for the ball, isn't he?
He's gone
for the ball, and he's it.
Steve, what was your first of all? What was your thoughts on the performance, first and second half of Arsenal?
Well, you've already said. I mean, it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a game I enjoyed overall. Taking away the decision, it was a very, very stop-start. Both teams I thought lacked quality in the 90 minutes. As you said, we was marginally better, I thought, in the first half, and I think we deservedly got the winner, got the goal. Sorry, that put us in 1-0, and I thought that was deserved. Although I still felt that we needed to step up our game because I was worried that Brighton would come out second half and they would step up a gear, which I was pretty sure or convinced that they would do, but it turned out they did a little bit, but yeah, again, I think they cancelled each other out, and then it just went down to the decision for the penalty and the equaliser, and it ended up being 1-1 after they scored. I think our heads dropped. We never really looked like scoring. Again, you know, it was one of them games where we should have won and we should have played a lot better. I mean, Brighton were there for the take, and I thought Brighton were awful.
Yeah,
I thought they was awful.
Yeah.
And you expect a team like Arsenal, even with the injuries and that, to go to do a lot better than what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember the defence having anything really to do. I thought, the defenders were played well. I thought Calafiori was really good. Thomas Partey did another great job at right back.
He had a bit of trouble with who was it who come on?
Dinga.
Yes, when they brought him on.
He did. I think he's gonna. Do you know what I mean? But I think he did what he could.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Considering he's not a right back, I think he's done well there.
He's done very well.
Considering. And Dinga's quick, fast winger. He is gonna get past him at times, and then But I thought he did a good job. And then the middle of the park and up front, mate, I thought wasn't good enough. It was. It was terrible. We missed Partey in the middle of the park.
Yeah, we do.
I just can't wait to get him. But he's definitely been better than Rice this season in the middle for me.
Yeah.
Rice got some praises the weekend. I didn't see it really. We missed Partey in there. Jorginho wasn't really creating anything. I say creating because normally, you don't normally expect him to create, but we see him playing balls through the middle. So we can get, but there was nothing there. Trossard again. Oh my God!
Yeah, he stunk the place out again. Yeah,
he was absolute terrible. And then Weary got the goal.
The crowd got in his head. He didn't play that well. He didn't play that well, to be fair to him. But again, he got his goal. Big up to him. We move on now. 17 years old. It's a big thing to get his goal. He tried. He's trying. Jesus worked hard, but didn't really do much else after, that. Yeah, we're suffering, mate, whether it's for injuries or whatever. Today, eight players in training again, for the first time in Premier League history, apparently. We've just had 8 players at training today. Everyone else is out with illnesses or injuries. Yeah.
And unbelievably, we're on exactly the same points as we are last year. And you look at the way we've played, and I think what that is, Danzig, is that I think our defence. I think a lot of people haven't given the defence the credit this year they did last year. They got a lot of credit last year because they was at the top. I think because they're second this year or third and dropping them back, and they're seeing the forwards not do well. They're not recognising that the defence is just doing their thing. And Arsenal have got the best defence in the league again at the halfway stage up to yet. So I think that's kept us where we are. But we need to go up levels, mate. We need to go up levels.
Yeah, because we're not going to get any more lifelines, and we need to start putting teams to bed. Like, we need to start. We haven't sent any messages this season. It's been like, it seems like you send a message and then that message is deleted, and no one could see it because we're smashing team and be like, oh, this is surely the turning point. Next game, scrape a 1-0 win.
I was surprised Martinelli didn't start. It was a bit of a weird one. I thought I think Arteta's is struggling with this rotation and trying to keep Trossard sweet. And I think it was a little bit of a go and show this team what they're missing with Brighton the other day, and he didn't really repay the faith in him. And it was. I think the crowd got into his head. You could hear a lot of boos and all sorts coming from the crowd, but he's got to expect that, and it didn't. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Shut him up is to smash one in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? He can stand there and do his celebration in front of them, and then they're quiet.
I think it's sometimes. I think, like you said, I think he probably played Trossard thinking, okay, look, we've got a game tomorrow night. We've got Newcastle. Trossard, you've been awful. You haven't been playing well over the last month or two, 3, whatever. What better place for you to go and do the business and show me that that you can still do it, and you're up for it by going to your former club and smashing it. There's your platform to go and show me what you're all about, and he couldn't do it, and I think that's probably made his mind up on Trossard. I think we need to see Martinelli out on that left.
The consistency.
But then again, but we can't. We've got Martinelli's now where he's injured, and Saka's injured, and Sterling's injured, and White's injured. That whole right-hand side is just depleted. How we got the same points as last year is quite amazing when you think about it.
Yeah, I was quite stunned the other day when I heard that we were 1 point off of where we were last year in the last game. And I was like, really? And then you work it out, and then you see it's a similar in February as well when Liverpool came to Arsenal. They were 5 points ahead. So yeah, but it's still on, but we need to see better performance from Arsenal, so it's going to be more encouraging, because if they carry on playing the way they are, it's just not going to happen.
What are you seeing, Garth? What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, I played devil's advocate on the penalty with you lads for a little bit.
Go on, we're going to go into that. Garth thinks it's a penalty. We move on. Next one. Go on, Garth, give us 2 pence worth for the penalty.
Well, it's not that I agree that it's a penalty. I can see why it's given. I really can. I don't think it's outrageous. And you've picked the best still possible, Keir, as well, where it's touched the ball's touched his head.
I'm sorry. Do you not want that one?
Let me finish. Like Dirk Gallagher said, he doesn't get the ball strikes him, and it strikes him by a hair. And it looks bad. It is a reckless challenge. If you're not getting that ball and you are going straight in head to head, that's a reckless challenge. Anywhere on the field, you're expecting that to be called up as a foul. Now, it's soft. It's unusual. If it was given against Manchester United, I'd be fuming, and I'd be double fuming if I was in a title race as well. But for me, it is a penalty, and that's not just devil's advocate. That's a penalty. He's missed the ball completely, and he's smashed into his head. And I don't think there's any black and white. Like, I think it's that black and white. It's a foul. It is a foul. Like, and so the penalty has to be given there. Now, like someone said as well, Arsenal shouldn't be blaming that penalty, because apparently, as you both said, Brighton were awful, and you should have scored 2 or 3 goals against them. Yeah, we should. Like, you should have won that game. You know what I mean? But yeah, lads, for me, and do you know what? It's not even playing devil's advocate. The more I've looked at it after I spoke to you, it is soft. It is unusual, like Arteta said. And the problem going forward with the referees now is they need to be on that. They need to be calling that up every time it happens. But
you won't see that again.
No, you say that, but it does. I don't see it being any different to a goalkeeper flying out, getting the ball, touch his knuckle, and then punching someone in the head. And then that's a penalty.
Yeah,
as well.
no, look. So we saw that against we saw that, and we got a penalty against West Ham.
Nana's done it. Yeah, Nana's done it.
For that, but there wasn't even. Fabianski wasn't close to the ball, so that's.
Saliba weren't close to the ball. Saliba weren't close to the ball. It goes
above someone with your fist is different. Punching someone with your fist is different than you.
On the flip side, and it's not even an argument against Steve. We've got to look at Saliba on that. Like, it's like where's João Pedro going? With a ball
nowhere. It's going nowhere.
And this is what I say, yeah. When Arsenal fans and look, I don't want to dig you out, yeah, but Arsenal fans, stop. I don't want to go online and you tell me that Saliba's the best defender in the world. Stop doing that. That's where the delusion comes from. When you've got players like Rudiger, you've still got players like Virgil van Dijk. Like, have some respect, yeah. That they are the best in the world. Saliba is one of the best up-and-coming defenders. But when we talk about the best in the world, we talk about what has he done at international level? What has he done in the Champions League? What has he done in his league, respectfully? And how far and how has he helped those teams in those positions? Saliba's not been anywhere at international level. He's got about 10 caps or something like that. How many games in Champions League has he played? Not even 10. So, like, just relax on that. And it's things like that where an experienced defender will in that split second won't even go for that ball. Maybe even just put the hands on Pedro, and he's watching that ball. But Saliba's made the mistake just before that, and he's tried to rectify that as quickly as possible. And in that, he's gone in with the head and given away the penalty. Just like again, a lot of Arsenal fans default to say who's the best defender or who's been the best defender on form is to say Saliba, and it's just not. It's been Gabriel. And I'd probably
we've said that for ages. We've said it for ages.
I'd probably argue it's probably that from half the season last season. Gabriel's been outstanding and has been our best defender. Consistent, scoring goals, has been a leader. So, yeah. But I think
there's an argument for him being
moments that we've seen with Saliba recently where he's learning his game still. He's still learning his trade. He's 22, 23. Like, just slow down. But I think Saliba has to look at himself there and just like recently he's had a few iffy performances. Was it Newcastle game?
Yeah,
iffy. And yeah, he's just got to learn.
How old is he? 23.
Well young, yeah.
Yeah, you see this with centre backs that age, don't you? Like they have that meteoric rise up to, and then they, like 23, 24, and they're meant to be like the leader, and it gets he can handle it, but it just gets a little bit much for a little bit. You start seeing 1 or 2 errors come into your game, 1 or 2 little mistakes. Yeah,
before
it's all lined out.
Expectation levels are lower. Yeah, so when he's playing his game. Once the expectations gets higher, he's also expects himself to do more, which people's expectations on him is to do more. So he's trying to do it, and he's not got that. Like, would Van Dijk, is Van Dijk, after making that initial mistake there before, is he going in for that header? No, because he's chilled, he's calm. He's seen that 15 times before a player try
experience.
What's he going to do? What is
he'll learn from it. He'll learn from
his feet into the air to header it on. Is he going to spin Saliba, get into space and tuck it in? And he's not. So, yeah, look.
He'll learn from it and grow, because he's a quality player. He's going to be he's going to be, if someone else comes along, that means they're one of the greatest centre-backs of all time, if not the greatest, because on his rise, his trajectory, he is absolutely top quality. So, yeah, he'll learn from it 100%. No, I'm not right. You've got this USCL one. I'm going to have a look at this now. I like Pedro. On a quick side note, I do like João Pedro. I think he's a good little player. So.
He's a good player. I think we're going to see João Pedro move to a bigger club in the next couple of seasons. A lot.
100%.
He's just missing the goals because he's very crafty. He's very skillful. He's quick. Yeah. Like, he's just missing being in that team where they're asking him to put in the back of the net more often. I just think it's a case of he's not getting as many opportunities in those forward positions at Brighton, because he's, like, as we've seen, he's at a halfway line. He's everywhere. So, yeah.
I think we did miss.
Liverpool sniffed around him and then got in a centre forward as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think we're missing a bit of physicality, haven't we, in that Brighton game? Did you think? I thought I didn't think. I think we looked a little bit like, as I said, like, one thing I think we've lost this season not to say we've lost, but certainly didn't have as much of it. We had that, little bit of, get stuck in about us last season a little bit. We seem to have lost that little bit this season. I don't know what that is. Personally, I think Jesus is, brilliant, but I think sometimes when it's, you've got to stick your foot in, you've got to get stuck in. Yeah, he works hard, but I don't know, he gets pushed off the ball too easy for me, and for me, Havertz, I think Havertz should be starting. He just gives us that. I think he's got that physicality about him. He's got that, the way he brings into people who are playing. He seems to do it more, and he seems to sort of give the defenses more to think about, because he's got that. He's got that bit of shithousery about him.
He's got a nasty streak in him, Havertz. I like that in a player.
Jesus
he's got a bit of nasty in him.
The one thing, 2 players. I mean, I love Jesus, I love Martinelli, but they do keep crying and moaning and trying to get free kicks and falling over a lot. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you don't see Havertz doing that.
I also think that we're a year on from Jorginho, and like, I think he's suitable for certain games now. It's not a case where we can stick Jorginho. I think he's suitable for certain games. I think we're lacking in the midfield. I know people are pointing at Mikel Moreno. I think that's harsh. The geezer's played.
He's only played 12 games.
On average, 45 minutes per game. Like, it's just ludicrous. And the people will point at Granit Xhaka. I'm like, Granit Xhaka turned up for me when Arteta turned up. So don't talk about Granit Xhaka as the example for the person who's
Mourinho was decent
against someone who's been here not even 6 months. Like it's just ridiculous. People just want someone to blame. I think that we're seeing the powers of Jorginho slowly dwindle away, where you was getting a little bit more range of passing and movement. Like we're starting to see a little bit less of the movement. We've still got the passing, but he's not in a forward of positions or in certain positions could do that range of passing. So we are still seeing little bits of we need.
How old is Jorginho? Is he 30? He's 33, and he's Jorginho.
Right, man. 32, yeah.
30. You start at age as well, don't you? Because in his position, he doesn't get caught out of position. So if he gets too far forward, like the turning, it ain't just, people always think it's the speed. It ain't just the speed; it's the actual like turning and it's like getting yourself.
And I tell you what. Yes, what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, and I said it last season. Declan Rice on the turn is not as good as Thomas Partey. He cannot play on the half turn as good. And you can see it in his game where Declan Rice, first thought would be to get the ball, pass it to this man or this man. Whereas Thomas Partey is already on that turn if the ball's coming to him. And that takes that split second onto the transition of attack is so important. It's so important to our game. And especially if we haven't got Ødegaard ticking as he normally is, especially if Saka isn't there, we need those little extra bits of elements in our game to be able to have a better attack and a quicker attack. Because too many times on the transition, we're allowing players to get back into their positions, and a big part of our game is cutting teams apart on that break. Like we don't play on the counter, but it's a big part of our game when we transition when we are countering. Like we said it. Thomas Partey's been one of our best midfielder this season. Yeah, and he's having to play right back. And yes, he can play in that inverted role where he goes into midfield, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Sometimes it gets too congested. People don't really know where they're meant to be. Marino's new. He's over here. He should be there. Could be there. Rice is over. It's just
there's
too many changes happening at the same time.
There's nothing set so far this season. Since the kickoff, nothing's been set. For some reason, there's been injuries, or someone's been out, or he's been out, or we've had to play 3 games with 10 men. We're getting players sent off. Saka's going down for months. Ødegaard's going out for months. Mourinho was out for months. And then you're getting like Gabriel out for 2 games, and then Havertz is ill, and Timber is ill. And it's like, okay, look, I hear Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, what you're moaning about? We've had Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott and Alisson. What are you talking about? Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Alisson.
I'll give him Alisson. I'll give him Alisson, yeah. But who's their goalkeeper? Who's their second goalkeeper? He's been brilliant.
Kelleher, however you pronounce it.
None of the players Liverpool. None of the players that. None of the players that Liverpool mentioned that they got injured, you'd go, yeah, but you got him. Yeah, but he'll come in. None of your players are key players. Alisson's not really, you say he's a key player. Yeah, he's world-class goalkeeper. But you've got nearly not far off as a guy to come in to replace him. So don't give me Alisson. People are saying Kelleher's been better than Alisson when he's played. Don't drop Kelleher. So don't give me Alisson. But when you're getting key players, when you're going for a title, it's going to hurt you. If you're getting key players go out and you're 9th and 10th, they're not going to hurt you as much because you're around the position where other clubs who are similar to you are.
No, Steve, it still hurts you, man, because they're your best players, brother. We had it last season, didn't we? Like, the problem is when it comes to injuries, if it's your team, you can blame it. Everyone else will just say it's an excuse. And that's what it comes down to. Last season with Ten Hag, we were decimated. And all I kept hearing is that's not an excuse. He should do better. And it's like, lads, I'm seeing squad numbers on the bench of 87, 92. I know what you're saying, but it doesn't, to every other team, it'll just be an excuse. It really will. I agree entirely.
And the thing is, everyone will point the fingers at every other team and say it's an excuse. And then you'll see their videos on the socials saying about how they've got injuries. And you're like, you were saying it was the excuse about this team. And now you're saying, look, I felt like I was empathetic with Man City. When you lose a Ballon d'Or winner, when you lose a player who's contributed to 40 plus goal contributions for the past 6 seasons, you have to look at that and go, yeah, that's clearly a reason why they're not as good this season. The fall off is wild, and it's no excuse for that. There's obviously something else, like people, like it might have got to a stage where people who aren't getting game time are kicking up a stink, and they're like, whatever, I don't know. But the Ballon d'Or winner and the captain missing, and Kevin De Bruyne, is a big factor in why Man City have been so poor this season.
And your spine as well, that midfield.
It's your spine. It's your spine. Arsenal, people will say that, people will say, no way, I can't believe that. People will say that, Chelsea has said to me, look at oh gosh.
Well, they don't need 12 keepers, mate. They've already got 10, ain't they? Jesus.
It's crazy.
Chelsea
Tommy
looking at Guy.
Tommy Aston and White, long-term, White had to have surgery, and Tommy Aston's been out since last season.
Why
does Arteta keep buying defenders? This is why. This is why he keeps buying defenders. Because they've got to be versatile. They've got to play in different positions, and they get injured. They're doing a lot of work.
White should be back in like before the month's out. So
we need it so bad.
Yeah, but it's just again. It's
you need it so bad.
When you're where we are and you're losing players, and do you know what I mean? And the players are off form. Do you know what I mean? It's I'm not seeing at the moment, kids. I'm not seeing anything where I can say. I know, like we've had the thing about the title race. I don't feel in a race personally at the minute, because I don't see my team
performing to
that level where we can say, the race is on.
Yeah,
now let's go.
That's fair.
But I will still say we're in it.
Do you know what I mean?
We're in it.
At the moment, I'm like, yes, we're second. People going, oh, you see them on the social media. Yeah, Arsenal second in the race between Liverpool. They're 6 points behind. As a fan, I'm not seeing it like you, because my team ain't performing well. And if my team, if you're in a marathon race and you're starting to slack and you're dropping behind, and you can see that there's, you need someone to go and give you a massage or something, you feel that you're not going to go and beat that geezer who's in front of you. And that's how I feel at the minute. So the race for me is like, people say you're in a race. I hope I can, in the end of the month, I'll tell you whether the race is over or we're in a race or we're not in a race, because there's some big games coming up for Arsenal and Liverpool where I think it's going to be telling.
It's very telling. I think Arsenal are going to be their own demise. I think is the problem. Is the problem. No matter how much Liverpool keeps slipping up, the issue is us. And it's our squad depth. People may say it's an excuse, but it's the fact. And I blame that on Edu, Arteta, Richard Garlick. Look, I agree with the
but it's a bit more.
I agree with the way they're doing things. I don't want. I've seen too many times Arsenal go for a player, second choice wasn't available. Let's just get a body in. That body is here 5 years later because no one wants him and he's on too much money. I've seen it. I don't want that to happen again. But we do need to start getting these deals over the line. Like
I've had this. I've had this with. I don't go online. I don't talk to people online. But I made a point of like putting out a tweet the other day, trying to explain, why we never bought anybody in the summer. Why you can't do this? I sort of trying to put it logically from someone who works in transfers, just tell them this, that, and the other. Doesn't go in. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't go in. You can explain to them things and this and that and the other, and it's just so difficult. Arsenal, like you say, Arsenal should have bought this. Arteta's to blame. This is to blame. That is to blame. Who did you want him to bring him in the summer? Oh, we should have bought Sesko. No, we can't buy Sesko because he didn't want to come. We should have bought Gorokis. No, we couldn't have bought Gorokis because he's under million. There's nobody.
No, forget Sesko. Forget Sesko. Even if it wasn't the case if we bought in a striker, why did we loan out Fabio Vieira? And I've said it since the start of the season. Why did you allow Emil Smith-Rowe to go out? Yeah, and get your money for Smith-Rowe and loan out Fabio Vieira. And if anyone wants to say that, because Ethan Monieri was the option in backup, that is crazy. He's 17.
Yes.
He's 17. How can you say that Ethan Monieri was the alternative option to Ødegaard when he's 17? Like that is
from what
to hear Arteta say that, because I'll be like, what was you thinking?
But from what I'm seeing of Ethan Monieri, right, as you said, you're absolutely right. 17 years old, blah blah blah. The only thing I can think of it, obviously, he's felt Vieira can go, right? He's obviously felt that Arsenal got enough. So the only thing I can think from Arteta's thinking is that he feels that Ødegaard's going to be doing his thing, smashing it throughout the season. Very rarely gets injured. Okay, he's gone down with one. His missus had a baby. Maybe all this was unforeseen, and maybe he felt that Nanieri, from what he's seen in training, that he could bring him on for 20 minutes, and that would be sufficient. He's also got Sterling there. He's got Saka there, but you look at it, Sterling's gone down injured. Ødegaard's gone off form. Ødegaard's gone off injured. Saka's, Sterling, they're all gone out.
Yeah, so they can't play in centre, can they? Sterling,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It still doesn't answer the fact that there's no straight up replacement for Ødegaard, and the only other option there that is an AM centre is Ethan Monieri, and that's what I'm saying. It is ludicrous to think that a 17-year-old steps in the boots of Ødegaard.
Yeah, he doesn't. But who did he play for when Ødegaard was when he was subbed, or whether he was just had a rest or whatever? May have been when he was injured. Who was the first? But now where he's fit, who was the first person he put in the midfield in that position? Do you remember who it was?
Was it Moreno?
No, he was Trossard.
Trossard. Yeah, again. But
he's obvious. But that's whether he's thinking right or wrong.
Yeah.
That was his thinking, and that we can turn around and say, no, looking at it now, you've got that decision wrong. And maybe now, in hindsight, he'd look back and think, well, I wish I had Ranieri on the bench because blah, 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 blah. So,
but Steve, straight maths, straight maths. We had all those players last season, plus Fabio Vieira, plus Eddie Nketiah. We sold Eddie Nketiah, sold Emil Smith-Rowe, loaned out for Fabio Vieira. The numbers wise,
no replacement. No replacement.
It's
he obviously felt he had enough, didn't he?
And that's the problem. That is what I'm saying.
He made a mistake for once, didn't he?
That's what it is.
If you can't bring in the striker that you want, and they can't get in the second spot, then why are you sending out players on loan? Why are you sending players? It's for me. It's sorry, mate. You would have gone, but
you never heard
get a replacement in, and we need a body. And sometimes, just sometimes, those stories are the stories where it's like, oh, actually, he wasn't going to be a part of the team, but there was an injury or bad form. He came in and he ripped it up. That's what happens in football, and you've got to
ripped it up. Johnny Evans last year, he come in as a real backup and played the whole season.
But he's got the options to bring him back, and he ain't.
Yeah, but
Vieira. What is he? What in the January break clause? As
one's in it.
They paid a fee, didn't they?
They was going to come back, didn't they? It was a little while ago. It all come out, but all the top journalists are coming out.
There we go. If he got to the point where this is what I mean.
Arsenal hadn't called for him back. Arsenal hadn't called him back, and
so got to the point where they've thought about bringing Fabio Vieira back here. If he's in the squad, it's not even a fault. He plays. He probably would have played that. They've got to the point where they're like, oh, we're playing this, we're playing that, we've had to move in it. It hasn't really worked. Should we bring back Fabio? Oh, let's really think about it. And they've thought about it. Like, he should just be in the squad. He should just be in the squad.
I don't know if
it's naivety. You sold 2 attacking midfielders and you left yourself with 1. You can't be thinking about. Look, we've gone through.
I don't think that's the problem. I think that's way too far the problem.
So it gets to the point now where we've got to start winning things. It should never have been a fault that I am going to deplete my squad so that my left winger could potentially play in the centre midfield or attacking midfield. But what if that other left wing is injured and he's got like these faults must have gone through their head. Like it's naivety, and you can criticise Mikel Arteta, like because it's like he's not all seeing, all hearing. He makes mistakes. He's learning on the job. It's part of the development we've got to expect. But he needs to learn from that. He's got to learn from that. That they cannot allow themselves to be sold short in certain positions because of what I can't. I don't. There's no logic to allowing Smith Rowe to go and Fabio Vieira to go in the same.
Maybe he just made up his mind that Smith Rowe wasn't going to get in the Arsenal team.
No, that's fair, and we got a decent money. So the Smith Rowe thing, it's not. I'm not even bothered about because if I'm honest,
it was for money. Maybe it was good for money to turn down.
The Smith Rowe one, he's an academy product, pure profit, makes sense. But then you cannot let Vieira go out on loan, no matter how much you don't rate him, no matter how much you think in where he may come in and be. You can't until you know you can't. You have to say to him, maybe January, mate. We'll see in January.
I just think that Arteta's thought that Nwaneri and Trossard could play in them positions when Odegaard's needs a rest.
Yeah, and then that's where I say that would never have been a thought of mine.
And it could have worked. It could.
And when but when you look at the players, for me, Nwaneri is a Smith Rowe type 10. He's a goal scoring 10. Yes, he's got that creativity, but he's in and around the box. He's looking for shots. He's looking for the 1-2s. He's a goal scoring 10.
Do you think
Vieira is the wizard? He is the closest thing you're going to get to Ødegaard in my eyes. And I think we saw that last season when he was coming on as a sub in place for like Kai Havertz, and he come on and got a couple of assists. I think we've underestimated how good Vieira is. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I think that people have labelled him a scrub because of like a player that came in injured, came back, found it hard to get in, got some games, played well, got injured again, and then people suddenly forgot that he was a good player. Because I remember when Kai Havertz first joined and Fabio Vieira was coming on as a sub or starting instead of him, people saying, this is what Kai Havertz needs to be doing. He's getting assists, he's coming on and making a difference. Kai Havertz is doing nothing. Fabio Vieira gets injured, Havertz starts putting in performances, and all of a sudden it's, Fabio Vieira needs to bulk up and needs to go out on loan again. And I'm like, what? We've been through this. Like, what are you talking about? Shut up. Like, he's a decent player. He just needs to run the games.
We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, though.
In the centre.
He might have won it. I mean, he's a starter for Porto every game.
Yeah.
So maybe he wanted
to be, doesn't he?
Maybe he went to Arteta.
I know that one. You've got that clause in it, which is if they don't play him, you can fine Porto for however it works.
Or you can cut the loan off.
I don't know about the car, but it's a definite financial penalty. I read that one.
We've done it with Eddie Nketiah when he went to Leeds. He was meant to go to Leeds and be at least get a.
See, Porto could have come in. They might have needed a player in that position. Said to Arteta, "Look, you're not playing Vieira. We'll take him on. We'll take him on loan.
Yeah, great.
Give him some play time, playing every week. You're not playing every week.
Is Arteta's. It's not Porto's. It's Arsenal's, and that's what he needs to look out for.
If they can get him back to form,
the players aside, it happens. We've seen it. How many players have you seen at clubs that don't get a lot of game time? Then all of a sudden, someone's injured. They're playing week in, week out. It happens. It happens everywhere.
I like
players that have done that.
I don't know if he'd make them. I like Vieira, right? And I still think he'll do something for Arsenal. Would he make a difference to where we are now if he was still here? I don't know.
I think Vieira in the games where Ødegaard didn't.
Would he have scored 2-3 goals like Nwaneri has? Would he have? I don't know.
No, but
I don't know. I'm not saying he wouldn't.
When Nwaneri's got his goals against League One teams and from the right on the weekend. Yeah, I'm talking about a central position where we are lacking creativity and something different. And even when Ødegaard is playing, Fabio Vieira could have been that option to unlock defenses, which Ødegaard couldn't, because they're different types of players. I just think that there was far too much naivety in allowing so many players to go out and not bringing in replacements for them.
You learn from it. That's what you want. That's what you want from Arteta, is to learn from that. Yeah, but I'm going to put you both on the spot with Fitz's question. I'm sure you've seen it coming. But is there a player you can go and get in January to try and help the title push? Is there one player out there that you think either of you that can come in and turn this around. And
you can
turn around the wrong
legitimately
word.
What, realistically, or just like
No, yeah, you can't have Mbappe. Realistically,
what I'm seeing online? What I'm seeing
wouldn't have him
online,
anyway.
like.
Yeah. But yeah,
Go
realistically,
and get Isak. Go and get Isak now. Pay the money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
20 mil.
Ludicrous.
Pay the money.
My head explodes when I hear
Smash,
people say that.
smash Georgie's release clause of 85 million now. Make him come.
Yeah, make him come.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're going to kidnap
It's
him.
easy, lads. Don't you need to do that to get him over here? You know what I mean? Just pay his wages, boys. Come on now.
He's
Jesus.
doing well with Sporting, the team that pulled him from obscurity in the Championship, and he's going to leave in January.
The first thing you got to understand that January's
86 million outrageous for him. Is that outrageous now with his goal? I think it's a lot of money, but for Gikores, is 86 million outrageous for him at the moment?
I don't. He won't go for
When you put
86.
Sesko in the
He won't
summer
go
at
for
48 or whatever it is, or 50. That is outrageous.
Sesko has not got the numbers anywhere near Gikores, bro. Like,
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
They're not even.
He's not got the numbers.
Yeah.
But I don't
There's a
know
massive
whether. I don't know whether that's the striker that they're looking for in Gikores. It seems like they're looking for a bit more of a target man-esque kind of striker, something similar in the vein of Havertz, but more of an actual striker. That's what it looks like in my
So what
eyes.
we're talking about, does Raul Jimenez change your fortunes at all?
Raul Jimenez, I would take Raul Jimenez. They used to
Leave it out, wouldn't you?
Steve used to rave about him.
I used to, yeah.
In a heartbeat.
He was always in my team of the years, bro.
Yeah.
But
In a heartbeat.
but
How about a weird one? How about a weird one? Chris Woods.
no.
I like Chris Woods, but I think like who's their centre back that's doing really well this season, and their right back, they're players in the mould of a very old school team. Yeah, and Nottingham Forest are doing excellent at that. Their fullbacks are old school fullbacks. Their striker, it's an old school striker. Their wingers, Elanga. It's just relentless game after game.
I don't think.
Down the wing. And you've got the silky one who's cousin holds the door. It's so football early 2000s, 1990s that they belong in that system, and I don't think it quite works for Arsenal.
I'm still in the camp of not really knowing whether. I mean, Fitz's question now. I mean, he says a player. You know, we're going on about strikers here. I'm still in the camp where strikers are going to be very difficult to get in January. Yeah. So if we're talking realistically, right, I don't think you're going to see a striker come into Arsenal in January. So if you're talking, if you're talking about someone who's going to come, I think the problems at the moment for Arsenal are. For everyone, it's plain to see is our right side because of injuries and our left side because of lack of form. We need someone who can play on the left and on the right who's a winger, right? And yeah, ideal for me, I'd test the waters with someone who's got a gettable release clause and see what they do. And that's Nico Williams.
48 mil. But then again, if you're saying Gikores ain't going to leave in January, will Nico Williams leave in January?
And I think there's got an affinity. The brothers have been there to come through the ranks. I think there's an affinity with that club.
But what I'm saying is, Gregorius is like, you can only test the waters. Gregorius has got like an 85.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Nico Williams, from what I'm hearing, he's starting to waver a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I think a lot of them are that was sort of no, I'm staying here in the summer.
Yeah.
And sort of throughout the season, they're a bit like, oh, actually, there's a lot of players that could be going this summer, and this might be one of my few chances to go to the big clubs.
I'd test the waters with Nico Williams, someone who can play on the left, play on the right. Yeah. When he cover for Saka, €48 million, more than affordable, and he's starting to waver, and certainly he's mainly left. Spanish international. And for me, he could easily take that left-hand side for his own with the form of Martinelli and Trossard. So if I'm Arteta, I'm going like, from what I'm hearing that they won't break the release clause until they've got like the word from Nico Williams that he would actually come. Because they
don't want to be embarrassed, do you?
No. But there is a lot of talk from, people
getting a player from Bilbao is tough anyway. It is tough. And then Catalans, the game is released in Catalan, it's tough, man. And you've got to make sure you don't sign Nico Williams as well, because you'd be upset then. 48 mil on the Welsh for
not the Nottingham Forest player, by the way.
Yeah.
When did you get Nico Williams?
Yeah, sounds like, you know what Nico said inside? You're like, what? Nico turns up like, bro, that is not the Nico Williams. Like, not bad. Nico Williams is right. You're right. What we're looking for, bro. Like,
Who was you gonna say, Kiss? Who was you gonna say? Who was you gonna say?
I would turn to Barcelona, and I did a video this the other day. Turn to Barcelona and say 6 months, Dani Olmo, we'll sort you out. We'll look after you for 6 months.
That's a good shout as well. Both good shouts.
Because he's a clutch player, and in big moments. Like I did a video the other day when I said he's a bit of a modern day Mr. Clutch. He scored the first goal against Georgia in the European Championships. He scored 2 goals against Germany. He scored the winner against France. He got a goal and assist against Germany as well. Got cleared the goal off the line against England. Got 2 goals, a hat trick in the German Cup for Leipzig to win against Bayern Munich when they won that game. Like he's a quality player, and he's done it in the World Cup as well, where he got an important goal to get Spain into the quarterfinals. So
he would be. I think Barcelona get round it. They get round everything.
2 days on. Did you hear that debacle that's going on?
For once, I don't think Barcelona are getting away. But I agree with you usually, Steve. But it just feels like the Spain has been like no more, no more. It's got cold
and
cases there.
Like Simeone's putting a dig in, like slyly. He's like, look. We want Dani Olmo to play for Barcelona, but it's got to be fair. Like, if the rules say he can play, he can play. If the rules say he doesn't play, well, he can't play, can he? Like, and that's
I thought you were going to say
managers that are saying, we've seen them get away with this before, and we don't think it's fair. And now we're putting our foot down and making a clear stance that this ain't right. That I don't think they're going to get away with it. Do it.
I really don't this time. Yeah, for once, I agree. Usually say 100%, but for once, it just feels a little different. Like just a little different for once. So, you have money, Steve. Can I step, bro? Sorry, Keir. Do Arsenal have money to spend just quickly in the window?
Yeah, they do.
Fair enough.
They all see. That was another reason. Again, I see. Yeah, something's just come to mind. We're talking about the Vieira, the Smith Rowe thing. You know, the selling of the Smith Rowes, the Nelsons, the Eddie Nketiah. Arsenal were in trouble with the old PRA. Do you know what I mean? Selling them may have put Arsenal in a situation where now Arsenal are in a good position to know and go in January and the summer. So maybe they couldn't have bought. Maybe they couldn't have bought someone in. Maybe they couldn't.
But they couldn't. That's my point. But selling Eddie Nketiah and Smith Rowe. I'm sorry, it's great business. Smith Rowe,
especially, great business for Smith Rowe.
Had his time at Arsenal, and we all love Smith Rowe, but he was not going to get enough consistent game to get back to where he was, and then develop to where. Look where Saka is. Smith Rowe and Saka were roughly around the same level when they were playing and were keeping Arsenal afloat. Saka's now here. Smith Rowe's still here. Now Smith Rowe looks like an exciting player at Fulham. But he's doing that at Fulham. He ain't doing that at Arsenal because he ain't getting the games because Ødegaard's there. So it made sense to sell them. Eddie, we love Eddie. He's done his thing at Arsenal, but he needs to move on. And we got great money.
It was his time.
It's his time.
Was it 27 million for him, didn't you?
Exactly. And my main point is the Vieira thing. And I die on that hill. And I'm probably going to die on that hill where he would have had opportunities to have a rotation, or someone could have played this game, or someone could have played that game. I'm going to die on that hill. He should have stayed.
Well, I think there may have been a possibility that they maybe could not have brought someone in because of like the.
Yeah, but then why get rid of Vieira? That's the whole point of this thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't bring anyone in, why are you letting Vieira go? Like, you've got no replacements coming in. You know what I mean? Then, I think you might have been a little hamstrung financially in the summer. It felt that way, just with your transfer business.
It was one in, one out. It was one in, one out.
And I think the Vieira thing was a little bit of like he's basically sat on the bench for 2 years. He came injured, missed his opportunities to get any game time. Had some game time, looked good, got injured, came back out. Got an opportunity, but like it was bits and bobs after that because, as we know, once Arteta's got his team, he sticks with his team.
I'll find out for next time exactly the ins and outs of that Vieira thing. So I'm not too. au fait with it, the whys, the wheres, what the reason was. Maybe there was. Did he make a mistake? I'll ask.
I personally think it's a bit of a favour. Like the kid sat on the bench for 2 years, and we need to get. It needs to
They made it. I mean, Arsenal was so, like Garth said there. Arsenal were really on the line when it comes to the FFP. They were so because it was because you remember it's 1 in, 1 out, 1 in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Arsenal couldn't do business because they'd done so much in the following summer, didn't they? They'd done so much then, and you never know. It could be a simple thing like getting Vieira's wages off the books. It could easily be something like that.
On that much, could he? Sure, like could have been that on the line.
They was right. But sometimes the Arsenal were literally.
Yeah, I know.
It might not be that. Do you know what I mean? But
by the way,
right.
Chris Wood has just scored again. By the way, people, I just want that known. Kieran and Steve laughing about Chris Wood. He's just scored again for Nottingham Forest.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I like Chris Wood. I like Chris Wood. I really do actually.
Someone's just texted me and said, "Is it true that?" I think you're right about Potter, Garth, because someone now
the geezer who told me ain't got no links, bruv. Like I don't know where he's got it.
No, he must have some links because I've just said it. A text saying to me from someone who would really know about it.
Well, Potter going to West Ham. Like, I mean, you're savage. Yeah. Didn't have nowhere told me. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, I've just been told. I'm like, I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, that's what I said. Great fit.
I was having my hair cut in the barbers.
Honestly, bro, he literally was on the bus with Graham Potter, going towards West Ham. So I saw him there, mate, because he got no links, bro.
Well, I saw Rob Green in one time on a flight back from Malaga, and apparently he was in talks with Malaga at the time. So, and it was one of them small planes to. There's the little city airport as well, so it was a quick stopover flight.
I've got his phone number. Funny enough, I'm going to say that. Did you, Kieran?
Yeah, and in fact, the same flight as one of the actors from Men in Black, like Russian.
Which
name
character?
Like I can't remember his name. It was like a Russian name. One of the aliens. Quickly on some transfer news. Here we go. First one.
Who may I bring in? I'm hearing Mbappe. I'm hearing this and that. I'm hearing Jamal. That's what I'm hearing from Man United.
Kolo Muani's been linked with Manchester United. Did you know what? Yeah, like I feel bad for him because I don't know a player that I could be any more underwhelmed by every time he's been linked. I'm like, no, he's not a bad player, but like, I'm really not excited by him. Like. He had he was a player that came into the World Cup final, had a really good World Cup, but got bought by PSG. But I never thought anything of him at the time. It doesn't really excite me as a winger or a forward. And when he was linked with Arsenal, it was one of them ones where I was just like, oh, please no. And then now he's been linked with Man United. I'm like, oh, he's a decent player, Garth. What's your thoughts?
Tell me how ain't happening, Steve. Tell me how ain't happening, mate, because I couldn't agree with you more here.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. They are interested, but you probably guessed what I'm going to say. I think personally, from what I've been talking to, it's all about, if Rashford leaves.
Yeah.
Because they need to pay him his wages, whether it's a loan or whether it's whether they buy him or whatever way. Manchester United do the situation where they need to sell before they buy. So yes, definitely 100% interested in Colomoni. I don't really know too much about the player, but it will all depend on players out. Xerxes not
such a better player than him. Rashford is such a better player than Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani's stats are just so bang average. I know it's not all stats, but he's playing in. You look at the clubs he's played for. Paris Saint-Germain. If you're a good player, you're expecting him to do numbers there. You know what I mean? 40 games, 9 goals, 2 goals this season. He got 3 goals the year before. He's had 1 good season. He's all right. He's one of them players, weirdly, that plays better for France than when I see him for his club team. But I'd be so underwhelmed by that transfer. I'd be like you said, Kit, like just, and you do feel sorry for him because I'd just be like that's not fanfare. That's you read it on teletext, you're like, yeah, I'll show my age there. You read it on Twitter, you're like, yeah, fine, all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim probably at home tonight eating his dinner and he's seeing that come up and he's like, what's that about?
Yeah, Gus, no to him. Gets on the ball. Jim, we can't have him. Gus said he's awful. We can't have him, mate. No, let's move on to someone else, bro.
But I think the biggest. I mean, yeah. I mean, they are interested, so someone likes him there. But as I say, it would all depends on. I think a lot of who. You know, if Man United are looking for a left wing back or they're looking for a striker. Personally, I think it's all going to depend on Rashford.
Yeah, we've got no money. We've got no. I know that. I think
because he's your biggest asset, Garth. So if you need to sell a big asset. It's all right. People saying, "Oh, Lindelof will go," or Eriksen will go, or you ain't going to get nothing for them.
No, 5 million for Lindelof, nothing for Eriksen. You know he's on free at the end of the year. So come on, Arsenal, pull your fingers out. Come and sign Rashi for 40 mil, so we can go and get some players. You know what I mean?
We can't. Do you know what? We can't sign him, can we? On loan. We're not allowed to. We're not allowed because we've already got 2 loan players.
You've got 2, Sterling and who's the other one you got?
The very thought about it.
Yeah, Neto and goal.
Back Sterling on loan, which would be a problem because they've got Sancho. So that would be a problem because it would be too congested. So you literally couldn't happen.
I was aching because all this week I've said, get Rashford on loan, and there's even people like Talk Sport. 6 months loan Rashford. I'm just reading this stuff. I said, we've got 2 players already. You know, go and do your own work. You know, you've got a job on these places, and we can't. That's why. I did an article and. About Rashford and Arsenal, and saying that the only really way Arsenal would probably get him is if United were to do like a cut price, ridiculous deal for something like 20-25 million. And
we could do a straight swap with Saka. I'm sure they'd be all right with that. Like straight swap with Saka. I'll be happy with that. I don't know if you boys would be happy with that, but I'd be very happy with that. You know what I mean? Listen, we'll take one of your dead woods off your hands as well, just to sweeten the deal. You know,
like Winieri.
we don't have to.
We'll take Winieri as well. Yeah. We'll take both.
Miles Lewis Skelly, yeah. Fucking hell.
We're sorry.
You take the 14-year-old while you're there.
But another thing. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're going to mention it, but while we were on United, just Josh Zirkzee, there's rumours of him going. That's all. That's nothing. He's going nowhere.
I don't think I keep hearing Italy, Juventus. I keep seeing Milan. I keep hearing them, but they ain't because they'd have to pay the 34 mil, and Italy do not like paying money for players. Like unless they'll do one big one. They'll do one big one, right? Napoli will spend 75 mil on Lukaku once. Like that's get another big transfer like for 3 years over there. It feels like these days. But listen, Zirkzee, just quickly. I know we've rarely run out of time. He's getting a lot of abuse, and it's unacceptable for what Zirkzee. I was pleased with the Man United fans after they booed him the other day. When he came for 35 minutes, clearly the away fans at Liverpool gave him a rousing. There's only one Joshua Zirkzee.
Away fans are usually better than home fans.
That's right. Yeah, they are, and I was appreciative of that because he's just a man doing his job. I don't think he's overweight per se. I think that's his physique. He does need to slim down a little bit, but he's come into a dead team. And what you're expecting from him. He's not a striker. He's not a midfielder. It was a bad transfer from Man United's board. Let him grow. He's 23. There's a player there. There is a player there. So just be patient with him and don't try and throw him out of the club. But it's a weird.
I'm sure Arsenal have got employed someone out there to go and make out that they're scouting players and go, let's not go for him. Like Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Madrid. We're going to put 80 million, 90 million. Chelsea go, shit, we've got to get him. There's the rumours about Zirkzee and Man United. Yeah,
for ages
but to be fair, that was out.
I mean, you mean Zirkzee?
I really hope he. He's the type of player. He looks like a nice guy. He looks like he's someone who got affected by the booze and that. So if you're a human being, whatever team you support, you want players like that to do well. So good luck to him.
Boo your own players. Don't boo your own players unless it's Anthony. That's different. But
players. Do you know the worst thing? And this is the message to all you people that boo players. It doesn't make a difference. You're booing. They don't go into the changing room and go, they're not happy out there, we've got to fix up. No, they're not doing that. It's the manager's team. So why you think your ego is so big that you think that a booing of the player is going to make them play better rather than getting behind them and supporting them? Like the logic, you have no grasp of human instincts and how to deal with people. That's that person that thinks that booing is going to get people moving. Like you're the boss that tells people they're crap, and hopefully
I give a ask. I also say on top of that as well. I also hate the excuse of I pay my money for the ticket. I can do what I want. You can't, mate. Let's follow that logic down the line. You pay your money, you can do what you want. Can you start shouting bigoted abuse at them? Can you start throwing fireworks at them? Yeah, you can't. Just because you pay your money doesn't give you a right to outright abuse players. Look, we can come on here, criticise, talk about it. You know what I mean? You can go down the pub and stuff, but it's your own team in your own stadium. Like, sort it out, people.
It's not your stadium. It's not your stadium, and it's not your club. I keep hearing it. It's my club. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not your club. It makes me laugh with one with the owners. Get the owners out. The owners out. We need to get the owners out.
Get the owners out.
What are you talking about? It's the owners, you idiots.
The owners.
It's the owners. They're not going nowhere. You can't.
Don't understand how general things work.
It's like someone coming in my house and saying, "You've got to leave."
Get him out.
I like your house. Fuck off.
All right,
no, mate, what are you talking about? You can't. We need. It's like the Tottenham supporters. We need to get Levy. Leave.
Oh yeah, it's going to be
easy. Levy is never leaving. They've said it before, and it's certainly best run business in football.
Yeah, love that.
Oh yeah,
he's got his trophy. That's his trophy. That's his trophy. Arsenal being linked with Matteo Retugi. I like this player. Atalanta, hard-working, good striker. I thought he had a really good game against Arsenal. Actually, it's just that penalty that wasn't the greatest, and the header, which David Raya saved in the end. But yeah, a very, very good player this season. 25 games, 19 goal contributions in all competitions. Having a very good season, up there in the gold rankings with Erling Haaland and Robert Lewandowski. Steve, have you heard anything on this rumour?
That was a great build-up, mate, but sorry, I haven't heard anything on this one.
Atlanta must be getting annoyed. Atlanta must be getting well annoyed because they're bringing through some nice players and everyone's just like, I would have that.
I'm not too sure. No.
Amediano will take it. You know what I mean? Ruggieri, do you know what? There was a rumour about Man United a couple of weeks ago, weren't there, about him as well? And that, I didn't put much stock in it. I was like, nah. And then I looked into it, did a little deep dive. Do you know what? Left back, left wing back, 22 years age. He's about to break into the Italian team. Yeah, if you can get him for a good price, Arsenal, that's a solid signing for you. Because he's far more of a. I haven't seen a lot of Calafiori, to be fair, but I presume he's a far more attacking attacking player than Calafiori, but with more defensive ability than Zinchenko. So it could be a very good signing for you. That could, if you get him.
Guy's a forward.
Yeah, as I say, he's a forward, isn't he?
I thought about Ruggieri, and do you say about Ruggieri?
Yeah, you're thinking of who's that? Is he Brazilian? The one that Chelsea.
I'm thinking of Matteo Ruggieri at Atlanta, the left back.
No, he's a forward.
Centre forward. Leading goal scorer for Atlanta.
Ruggeri, Ruggieri.
No.
Who are you talking about then?
Retegui. Matteo Retegui.
I did keep saying Ruggieri. Like, you know,
Ruggieri. I see. Yeah. I see Matteo.
Yeah, he sounds a good player, that one, though, Garth. You mentioned
he's a good player.
You not notice the silence? You not notice the silence in the room?
I did say Ruggieri about
two big build-ups. The big build-up in the first one from me.
Yeah.
Did
you notice though Kieran was the one that put you in it, Garth? I was just going to stay quiet, mate. I was going to say stum, mate. I wasn't going to say.
No, you have to talk. I don't look like an idiot. I would look like a right idiot.
I'm like, yeah, and he goes left back. I'm like, huh?
Well, there's
It's a
another
good
one. There's another one that Atlanta are losing this summer, mate. It's Ruggieri. Ruggieri. Keep the name in your heads, people. Good player. Good, solid player.
There's rumours that Arsenal are looking at Joe Bellingham. It's actually something that was rumours a while ago.
It keeps coming up
again. I've got someone at work who's a big Sunderland fan. He was surprised by them rumours.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's nothing big about it. I mean, he's just that he's someone Arsenal looks at. There's someone that Arsenal have scouted. So it's one that is in that list of young upcoming midfielders that Arsenal are trying to look at to bring in maybe in January or preferably more than likely in the summer. He's just one of the players in the list that they're looking at, along with, Adam Walton, along with what's his name, Luciano Agbumi for Seville, and Joe Bellingham. Do you know what I mean? There'll be some more come up, I dare say, over the weeks and the months.
While we're here, there was that rumour of a release clause proposal. I'm sure it was nonsense. Did you see that one? Is it Alberto, a Spanish player in Spain? There's rumours that Arsenal had triggered a release clause.
No, I don't. No, I remember. I can vaguely remember the story, but it hasn't been someone. Normally, someone would mention something to me like that during conversations with people that would know, and no one's mentioned that name. So
all that's popping up now is Nico Williams. So I'm sure that was nonsense at the time as well. Any other transfer rumours, Steve? While we're here, quickly on any Man United, Chelsea, any other club?
No, well, Chelsea seem still to be looking, didn't they? Somehow they seem to be getting around things. They're going to try and see if they can buy Mark Guy of Chelsea.
Mark Guy, 70 mil.
So where how they're doing it, I don't know, but that's a solid interest from them. Liverpool are just trying to get their contracts, done and dusted. Man City, all things seems to be pretty quiet there at the moment, but I'm expecting them to do, a couple of things in January. Probably in the back end, probably next week things will start popping up.
Who was it Liverpool tried to get? Because I know I read the rumour about that. The Sociedad centre midfielder.
Oh yeah, Zubimendi. That sparks up again for the summer. I'm hearing.
I think Liverpool, they may very well try again for Zubimendi.
City want Zubimendi is what I was reading the other day. City are looking
they've showed interest again. Again, these transfers. Zubimendi is a Spanish international. He's a top player. I mean, if I'm Liverpool, I'm looking at the fact that they've got Gravenberch and McAllister in there. Gravenberch is doing an incredible job. Some saying he's doing the best centre DM in the league this season, and I'm not.
He always had talent, yeah.
I'm not sure who's going to argue. So is Zubimendi going to come in and take his place? I don't think Liverpool are going to pay a 50 million release clause to Zubimendi personally after seeing what Gravenberch is doing. Man City is a very similar situation. Unless Rodri's someone who can maybe move into the 8 or Zubimendi can play in the 8. Again, it's all about...
Zubimendi can play more forward in the 8. He really can.
That's probably more...
And Bernardo Silva's a player who's wanted to go for the last 2 seasons after he signed. So, Barcelona...
From what Zubimendi, I can see him working at Man City under Pep. He feels like he's that sort of player, like a system-based player. I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Yeah, I know they like Barella. They was going to... I know Man City also looking at Hakimi of PSG. He's still an hour and about signing his contract. He's a right back, and obviously he would be a straight replacement for Kyle Walker and or Rico Lewis. I personally think he would be ideal for Manchester City to slip into that role. And I've heard that they're looking for him. Tottenham are also interested in Randa Mooney. I'm expecting them to do a few things. They've just bought a goalkeeper, haven't they? Whose name's surpassed me at the minute. So
Czech goalkeeper, isn't it? Vitali or something? Is it Vital? It's something like that.
Yeah, West Ham have been looking for a forward. Obviously Antonio out now. Fulkrug still coming back from injuries, struggling to find his form in the Premier League. So they're looking for a forward as well. So probably going to be a busy January. And and Man United, as we've already said, and probably need to sell to buy.
Got no money.
They,
Here, Steve, we've got no money. That's it. All I keep hearing of maybe a cheeky 7 mil on someone. You know what I mean? But even that sounds like it might be out of the questions.
But
we definitely need to sell.
Who was it? I was the Sporting Lisbon one. I was having a chat with someone the other day. It might have been Jamie Jackson, but don't hold me on that. They're interested in, is it Vitahi of Sporting Lisbon? That's been floating about for a while now, so maybe that's one to keep an eye on. He's the Wolves. Was he the ex-Wolves player? Was he?
Oh yes. Was he at PSG? I thought he went to PSG. Did he go to Visaria or whatever his name is? I thought he went. I thought that was PSG. The Wolves one. There is definitely two players. The one went. They were both at Wolves, and one went PSG. I'm pretty sure, and the other one went to Sporting.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Jack Grealish as well.
Tottenham, I'm hearing.
Yeah,
that'd be a great signing for Tottenham.
Keep an eye on Jack Grealish.
10 years too late though.
Do you mean Vitina? The Vitina. The Portuguese, Vitinha. Yeah, I'm not making the same mistake again. Well, I talk about a player for 2 minutes and it turns out it's the wrong one.
Yeah, is he on PSG? Is he at PSG?
Vitina.
No, Sporting Lisbon bloke. Sporting player.
Who was at Sporting that was at Porto? Was at Wolves?
He's at Wolves now.
It's got to get stuck on this. It'll be people are probably pulling out their hair. We need to wrap
shouting at the
screen. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that update, Steve. Make sure you join us. That's all we have time for. Make sure you join us next week. There is no Arsenal show tomorrow because Arsenal are in the Cup semi-finals against.
Yeah. Come on, the Carabao Cup. What are these big trophies?
I don't. We need I tell you what, I can already hear Arsenal fans going, yeah, it's a trophy, but that don't count as a trophy.
I believe it does. You're there at Wembley, you know what I mean? If you go to Wembley, no, you don't do. It's not semi-finals home and away in the League Cup, ain't it?
It all depends. If we get to the final, then I'll let you know if it's a big trophy or not.
Oh, yeah, no, if you win it.
If you win it.
Ah, big trophy that.
We've been to the final next one many a time before. If you win. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Pleasure as always, lads.
All right. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you are new to the show. If you are a regular, press that like and press that share button. It all helps. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you press that like and you press that retweet because, again, it all counts. And if you are on Twitter and you have been watching us week in, week out, taking our knowledge, waiting for Steve to get the transfer information, press that like button and press that follow. All right. I know there's some shady people that like to watch us but don't like to follow. I know you're out there. Press that follow.
Out there. Voyeurs out there.
There's a lot of voyeurs out there. I know there is. That you ain't following. Press that follow button. It's free. Right?
I'm going to pick it up for him because he refused to do it. But Kieran's TikTok, there's the Transfer Exchange show and his own football content is amazing. Make sure you go and see it on there because well worth your time. Well worth your time, people.
Transfer Exchange show, Kieran AFC. If you want to follow the other one, it's very random, but that's just my own personal stuff. And I chat about everything. Crisps, peanuts, it doesn't matter. Nothing.
I'll tell you, they're going to try and sell you mushroom pills. That's what's happening.
I will. Every now and again, I'm going to, and you can tell by this is my nervous twitch. You can tell by that he's right. He's 100% right. I will be shilling something, but it's going to benefit you. Trust me. All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.